Legions of mites who made a home under the cockroach's wings start leaving the sinking ship.
This is really a web of life, and you see mites on almost everything. Mites are bloodsuckers.
Now the tarantula sucks the life out of its once mighty opponent. In the bug world, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. When a vinegaroon and a striped-tailed centipede come to the surface, all hell will break loose. The rainforest is riddled with entrances to the underworld. From one dark gash, like some mythical monster, comes a striped-tailed centipede. Every night, it leaves its subterranean lair on a mission to murder. A hyperactive hunter plows way through the forest on 22 pairs of legs.
You would think that they'd be getting tripped up all the time, but with each one longer than the previous, they never get.
The centipede's speed and mobility are even more impressive when you realize it's almost blind. Its antennae act like all-seeing eyes. Beneath the antennae, on either side of the head, the main strike weapons, two modified legs, have become venom claws that deliver a toxic shock. Perched high on a leaf, a grasshopper thinks it's out of harm's way. But the striped-tailed express is hot on its chemical trail and severs a hind leg.
Now that's poor defense. The grasshopper really should have jumped clear while it had a chance, because now when the centipede comes back, it's not going to have a leg to stand on.
The venom claws now serve as silverware, pulling soft flesh from the exoskeleton. Like a discerning diner ripping meat from a lobster tail. Nearby, another denizen of the dark emerges, hungry for blood. With its heavy armor and creeping crab-like walk, the vinegaroon is a primeval nightmare.
Vinegaroons are like B-grade movie idols. I mean, they're really scary, monster-looking animals.
Massive pedipalps, ending in crude pincers, grab prey in a merciless embrace, then crush it against serrated armor plates. Like all arachnids, the vinegaroon has 8 legs, but only 6 are used for walking. The first 2 are sensors that the vinegaroon taps around like a blind person's cane. Its heavy armor is enough to deter most predators. If that doesn't work, the vinegaroon mounts a reeking rearguard action.
They've got a gland at the base of their tail that is capable of spraying what's essentially vinegar as much as 3 feet away. They're able to move their tail around, aim it toward the predator, and then spray this mix of acetic acid and caprylic acid. It breaks down an invertebrate's exoskeleton.
But will the vinegaroon's heavy weapons be enough to defeat the striped-tailed centipede when it attacks head-on? In the dead of night, the rainforest is haunted by underworld demons. A voracious striped-tailed centipede follows a trail to its next meal. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, a vinegaroon waits for its dinner to arrive. The centipede attacks with spiny feet and razor-sharp venom claws. The vinegaroon wields giant club-like pedipalps, spiked pincers, and serrated plates. Who'll survive the battle of the night terrors? The centipede charges in like a hungry locomotive. But the vinegaroon grabs first. The centipede lashes its body around. Venom claws looking for a way in.
The centipede is tough, but this vinegaroon has it in a really tight grip in the pedipalps. It's almost like being caught in a nutcracker.
Oh, that's got her. Even if the centipede manages to get away, he's going to have a terminal headache, and I don't think he's going to get very far.
The centipede's legs kick feebly as claws like chelicity tear into its neck, almost severing the head. Regurgitated digestive juices flood the wound, transforming solid flesh into centipede soup.
So it seems that the old adage of live by the sword, die by the sword is just as applicable to the bug world as anywhere else.
The vinegaroon savors its victory, ferrying a dead foe back to the underworld to feast in peace. When a banana spider clashes with an orange-horned katydid, it's a battle to die for. Many femme fatales in the rainforest. The orange-horned katydid is the ultimate mean girl.
This is a body-slamming, take no prisoners, bite your head off type. And trust me, when she's in a fighting mood, you don't want to mess with her.
Sit and wait predator. Very little escapes this consummate murderess.
Those huge compound eyes get a katydid very good vision. And the long antennae allow her to feel and sense prey from a great distance. So another predator would have to mount a surprise attack in order to have any kind of competitive advantage.
Tangling with this bug is a daunting prospect. She's armed to the teeth. Savagely spiked back legs are spring-loaded weapons that deliver a lethal kick or launch her out of danger in a single bound.
These muscular hind limbs allow a katydid to jump up to 20 times its body length. Now, even a human Olympic world record long jumper can jump a distance maybe 5 times his body length. So this insect makes our most stellar athlete look pathetic by comparison.
This hapless cricket could kick itself, or straying into the katydid's murderous clutches.
The only type of hugs that the orange-horned katydid gives are fatal ones. She wraps them up with the spiked arms, piercing them with the spines, and then goes in for some hardcore mouth action from which they will never recover.
2 sets of feelers help her work out the size and shape of her meal. Wickedly sharp mandibles with hardened black tips mangle the cricket's soft tissue. With her belly full, the leftovers are discarded like yesterday's lunch. Unicorn Katydid isn't the only ruthless female in this forest. With a sleek body, slender, tapered legs, and attractive markings, the female banana spider is a bug world beauty queen. She rules her world ruthlessly. From her webs that she weaves with spun gold. Concealed in her golden castle, the deadly queen waits for her victims to come by.
A prey item is